Well, for those who don't know me, I'm Sanjay Kumar, CEO of Geospatial Media and Communications, the organization which has been hosting this conference in different locations. And this year, as you know, we are hosting this conference in partnership with Swiss Topo and Geo Secretariat. Well, when we started thinking about this conference, we came up with a theme which is Geosmart Planet, Resources, Infrastructure, and You, which talks about enabling geospatial technologies as a solution for helping us manage our resources, infrastructure, and people. Today, I'm going to give you a kind of overview on this industry, this community, and the people who are sitting in this room. I'll talk about evolution of this industry, and then I'll talk about stakeholders and ecosystem, trends and directions a bit, watch out and feel good factors, and how does Geospatial World Forum as a platform helps this to move forward. Well, whatever I'm going to share with you is more of an indication and indicators, and that's nothing else but whatever I gather from all of you. So you treat me as a mirror, and whatever I say is a view of some of you or many of you or all of you. So I'm just trying to reflect thoughts and ideas which I keep on getting while discussing and interacting with you all. So let's look at the evolution of this industry. Like any industry will evolve through various phases, and so as the geospatial technology. It has a very strong component of science. Yes, we have been known as a very scientific discipline all over. Our roots are in defense, and defense is one of the biggest users of the technology and the science. So we started with the science, and that science has been culminated into technology. The moment we got into the technology process, we look at making tools which we can use. And then move away from technology, we look at creating infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, it's not kind of highway. It's a kind of combination of infrastructure where you're talking of spatial data, you're talking of policies, you're talking of creating industry around. So this geospatial infrastructure is all about the people who are getting together to create a geospatial forum or geospatial infrastructure, and that's when you start looking at the utility. That's where you start looking at this technology as a utility, because it has become a kind of infrastructure. We talk about IT infrastructure, telecom infrastructure, or energy infrastructure. And so as we have a geospatial infrastructure which makes it a kind of utility for all of us. And further moving away is industrialization. That's where geospatial technology has got into the industrial process. The mechanics, automotives, factories, plants, constructions, various kind of industrial processes. Today we are using geospatial technologies, and that's where it is becoming a commodity. So today we are a kind of commodity. We are no more an industry which is within itself. Who are the stakeholders of this? Let's look at, first of all, let's talk of geospatial technology itself. When I say geospatial, it means it represents several technologies. We traditionally have seen GIS, Earth observation, GNSS, laser scanning, photogrammetry, sensors, surveying. All these disciplines have been standalone disciplines, and they are today as well. But what does geospatial do is to bring together all of them and integrate them. And this is what is about the technology part of this community. Then we get into the convergence. As a technology, we are getting converged with computing, graphics, databases, engineering, internet, mobile, telecommunication, and wireless. So when we integrate these technologies, then further we are getting towards converging those technologies with the mainstream technologies. And then what comes? The embedding into the process. After converging with those technologies, we are getting embedded into the process. And these processes are of industry processes, like whether it is architecture, or it is analytics, or it is accounting, or it is enterprise resource management, or modeling, or social media, and land information system, or SCADA, or C4ISR for defense. So this is what we do in embedding the process. And after embedding the process, this is where we get into the solution phase. Then we talk of geospatial solutions for agriculture or banking or constructions or defense or electricity. So this is a huge community. There are so many stakeholders who are actually working together in a collaborative environment to make this solution possible to all of you. Let's take an example. We are in CICG today, and let's take an example of a public safety. This is a building which is inside, and this is a building which we are in at the moment, and one of the conference halls we are sitting in this building at the moment. And this is about 4 levels up and 2 levels in the minus. So many features are there, so many buildings, assets are there. In case of any kind of public safety issue, how do we collaborate different technologies to make it happen for us? And that is what it is. You integrate GIS, GNSS, laser scanning, and sensor. These are the data acquisition technologies which will give you a kind of geospatial information. And then we go into database or internet, cloud, mobile, telecommunication. We need internet, we need mobile technologies, we need wireless here so that we can create a indoor location. We can actually know where each and every asset of this building is, and we can position them. And this is where we get into the convergence of several technologies, and then get into the process. What is the process of this building, the architecture? What is the process of this enterprise resource planning of this building? What is the process of modeling of this building? What is the process? How do we communicate to the people? Use social media, use several tools. So that's where we are looking at making one solution of public safety, and that's where we look at so many technologies getting together to deliver it. So this is what I believe is the broader framework and broader collaborative environment of this community. Let's look at a little bit of, how do we, I'm just taking one example of GIS. We all talk of GIS, which is one subset of this technology, and we have companies which are working into different niche markets. We have Esri and Intergraph at the core because they are more of a platform companies. Then you look at Autodesk, which does specialize on delivering solutions for design sector. Bentley does specialize on engineering sector. Trimble does on modeling. And GE Small World does on networks. Pitney Bowes and Oracle does on business analytics, and Google and Microsoft does on consumers. And I heard a term prosumers yesterday. So I'm just buying this, borrowing this term from some of my friends yesterday. So this is how only the GIS component is looking at. So it's not just the fundamental technologies, but there are so many technologies which are on the edge. And how this industry is shaping up. Let's look at the Earth, the data sources. We have an Earth observation, we have laser scanning, we have surveying, and we have mapping and mobile mapping kind of sources, which are providing us data sets. And how does this industry is evolving? Data is driving the solution. Look at the same companies. Now, laser scanning and LiDAR kind of sources are being used for Bentley, Autodesk, and Trimble. I don't mean that they don't use other sources as well, but primarily they do that. And then surveying is being used by, say, Esri, Intergraph. They use all kind of technologies. As I said, they are platform technologies, so they use all kind of data acquisitions. And they are capable of doing modeling on each kind of things. But then look at the specialized products. So get into the Microsoft, Pitney Bowes. So they have kind of the data sources also they pick up from different sources. And that's where the data as a source is actually driving a kind of industry alignment as well. And consolidation is happening around the world because we need workflows, we need better connectivity. So there is a consolidation of the industry happening. Very interesting thing I want to tell you that several mainstream companies have come in this picture. Several mainstream companies, whether it is Microsoft or Google or Nokia or GE or Thomson Reuters or Amazon or Apple or Facebook. Name any mainstream engineering and IT company, they have acquired geospatial companies in last 5-7 years. And why they have acquired these companies, it's not that they want to serve geospatial industry, but they have acquired these companies because they want to build their solutions and have a kind of competitive advantage while delivering their services, while delivering their solutions. And each one of us are actually using this technology today. Let's take an example of agriculture. How does it make sense? We are growing. Population is growing a lot, and by 2050 will be 9 billion. What does it mean? We'll need more food. But what else is happening is that because of development, the per capita consumption of the food is also growing. So which means not only the population is growing, but also the per capita consumption is growing. We need 52% more food by 2040, 2045. And on top of that, we have urbanization going on, which means more and more people moving to the cities, more and more, less and less people engaged in the agriculture. Climate change is a big challenge, and water is coming as a big problem. We all worry about water, but let me tell you that 70% of the water we use for agriculture, 20% of the water we use for industrial production, and 10% we use for our domestic purpose. And we all save, we talk a lot about saving water into our domestic sectors, but agriculture and industry is where we need to have efficient tools for managing the water. So how does geospatial comes in picture? With our precision technologies, with our tools, we can actually help you manage irrigation of agriculture better. We can help you doing precision farming. We can help you doing the logistics and supply chain of the whole ecosystem of agriculture industry. And that will bring the productivity and efficiency. And that if even 5% of the water is being saved by this tool, you imagine the kind of service we are doing to this planet. Let's look at energy. Again, the parameters are the same, urbanization and the population growth. But we need like almost 100% increase in our energy demand in next 30 years, which means so much of carbon is going to be in this atmosphere. So these challenges are there. We have demand growing, we have challenges coming in. So what is the way forward? The way forward is basically to manage our resources better. And where do we fit into the geospatial technology here is, again, production. We can increase the production and efficiency. We can help mapping the renewable potential. Very important. Whether you talk of the solar energy or you talk of wind energy, geospatial comes in very handy in harnessing these potentials. Then strengthening the network and operations of the entire electricity distribution and founding a very efficient smart grid. So what we are trying to do is actually expanding the geospatial market. Today it is about $100 billion market. JP Morgan just did a kind of study and they said this professional market is about 100 billion. And Boston Consulting did a study which talked about geospatial consumer market is about $250 billion. So this is the market which we are talking about today. And let's look at interesting thing in the green line, which is growth rate. The growth rate of this industry, despite all the economic recession, has been about 10 to 20%, depending upon the geography and the industry you're talking about. Pick up the figures of the companies and see that what they were in 2008 and what they are today. You will see a very clear 100 to 150% growth in their revenues in the last 7-8 years. During the recession, this technology was more and more stronger and coming up as a strong. So where this money is coming and going to, that's where is 60% still of this money is actually into data collection, which is content generation. We are still collecting a lot of information because we need to update this information regularly. Everything on this planet is changing and moving very fast. 15% of this market is actually by the technology companies, and 10% solutions companies, and 15% again the services. So what you're going to see the change in coming time is that there will be more and more of solutions coming in. This is the trend which is coming in. This portion of 10% will grow up more and more, and probably the services component will go down, and technology portion will also go up more and more, because technology is coming as a solution, as a help to make entire exercise of content collection more efficient and more accurate. What are factors for this industry? Yes, we need to engage and advocate political and administrative leadership, and that has been one of our major objectives. How do we engage the political leadership and administrative leadership? We need to think forward in terms of policy environment. A lot of us actually keep on hearing about the restrictions on drones and things like that. But if you look at each technology, whether it is wireless or it is telecommunication or it is satellites or it is, all of them have some security threats. But why we overdo on this? We need to create a better forward-thinking policy environment where we think of how to manage the threats and how to avoid and manage those situations rather than restricting the technology to help the people address the larger objectives of the world. We need to organize and consolidate our industry. We need to partner and collaborate. So our business models have to be more partnership oriented so that we partner with industries which are in the field of energy or things like that. We invest into qualified and trained manpower. We need to set up universities and educational institutions which are focusing on this. Standards and interoperability. We have a great work done by the OGC in this field to set up standards and interoperability within the geospatial community. But what we need to do is that move forward and create standards and interoperability protocols with energy or agriculture or mining or oil and gas or municipalities. So that is where we need to do that and define IPR and trade protocols. It's very important because the more and more maturity will come, the IPR, intellectual property rights, will be a very, very important challenge for our industry, and we have to create trade protocols for that. What is the feel-good factors? This is all very nice. We have a very high level of awareness about maps today. I can say that probably more than 50% of the population in the world are using maps. Because thanks to Microsoft, Google, and many more companies who have made it a kind of commodity. Location inside and everywhere. This is what is a feel-good factor because location is inside and everywhere. Whatever you do, there is a location component to this. Industrialization and commercialization. A lot of industrialization is happening, a lot of commercialization of this technology is happening. Even the sectors which have been very, very restricted are opening up and getting into the commercial domain. You talk of small satellites, you talk of chip satellites, you talk of dedicated satellites. All these technologies which are coming up will be able to give you a captive kind of environment, and you can actually buy them for yourself. Recognition at the highest level. This technology has been recognized in the Rio 20 Plus and the G20 Summit. All these high-level groups have been recognizing this technology for disaster management, for natural resource management, for people management. Several organizations in several countries are evolving national geospatial strategies, over-encompassing, like bringing kind of national character, national strategies. Indonesia, Japan, China, India, and several other countries around the world. But they are bringing national geospatial strategies. An interesting thing is the entry of large business houses. Now you see so many acquisitions. Where is the money coming from? Someone is interested in this. So there is a large enterprises which are getting into this business and higher growth rates. Higher growth rates is something which is very motivating. And these are feel-good factors. So what Geospatial World Forum is going to do is it provides an interactive and collaborative forum. We have been interacting in groups, in formal and informal groups. We have very high-level policy and technology leaders coming at this conference. We have best practices and success stories of implementing these tools. We are showcasing a kind of way how to use this technology, how to make difference in your life by using this technology. We are providing exchange and knowledge at national, regional, and global levels. That's what is happening. We are here in the groups at the national level, at the regional level, at the global levels. We are trying to connect communities and converging processes and practices. The one which I said, the people are here who are representing all those stakeholders. They're talking to each other and demonstrating the value and utility of geospatial-enabled society and economy. That is what Geospatial World Forum is all about. We have about 30 collaborative partners. The entire agenda which we have developed here is in collaboration with 30 partners. Ministerial and administrative leadership, there are 10 countries who are represented here at the ministerial level. They will be speaking tomorrow and day after tomorrow. There are about 250 heads of organizations here in this conference and about 75 countries participating, 250 speakers and 30 moderators. And estimated participation about 1,000 delegates. I want to thank each one of them for their efforts to bring this together as a momentum. So this is what is my last slide. The geospatial community is passing through a transitional phase and gaining momentum towards being an inherent and integral stakeholder of local, regional, and global communities, offering spatial visualization and analytics for understanding, managing, monitoring of natural resources, infrastructure, and human development. And that's what is the theme all about of this conference. And this is happening because there are hundreds of visionaries, thousands of scientists, and millions of professionals who have made billions of users. So thank you to everyone.